Malik Jordan had dressed like he belonged on purpose. Not flashy, clean. A fitted dark coat, fresh white sneakers, simple watch, no loud logos. Hair trimmed, beard lined. The kind of look that didn't ask permission, but didn't invite questions either. Because Malik already knew how this went. Some buildings had marble floors and glass doors and rules that were really just excuses, soft, polite excuses that turned into hard walls the moment someone decided you didn't fit the picture. Tonight mattered, not in a dramatic movie way, just in the real way adult life mattered. Connections, opportunity, the kind of evening that could shift your next 6 months. His friend Nia had been clear on the phone. "It's my cousin's engagement party," she'd said. "Skyline room at the Astor Building. Come, please, I want you there." Malik hadn't met the cousin. He wasn't part of that family circle. But Nia had been his friend since college, the friend who had watched him grind through 2 jobs and a night program, the friend who never talked down to him, the friend who could say, "Come," and mean it like a seat was already saved. So Malik showed up. The Astor Building rose above the street like a polished statement. Tall glass, clean lines, a lobby you could see from the sidewalk, lit bright and cold. Inside, everything looked expensive in a quiet way. Stone walls, a glossy desk, a sculpture that looked like it belonged in a museum nobody touched. Malik stood outside for a second, inhaling. The air smelled like rain and car exhaust. He checked his phone. 7:41 p.m. He had time. Nia's last text was there. "You're on the guest list. Tell them Nia Santos +1. If they give you trouble, call me." Malik's stomach tightened at the words, "if they give you trouble," like she already knew. He walked through the revolving door. Warm air hit his face. Soft music played somewhere overhead. The lobby was calm, almost too calm, like a place that didn't allow chaos to exist. At the concierge desk sat a white man in his 50s with silver hair and a perfectly pressed suit. His posture was straight in a way that looked trained, not relaxed, not welcoming. His nameplate read, "Graham, Concierge." Graham looked up as Malik approached. His eyes moved over Malik's coat, Malik's face, Malik's hands. Not a quick glance, a scan. Then Graham's expression settled into something neutral that didn't feel neutral at all. "Evening," Graham said. "Can I help you?" Malik kept his voice polite and calm. "Yes, I'm here for an event, engagement party, Skyline room. I'm a guest." Graham's eyebrows lifted slightly. "Name?" "Malik Jordan," Malik said. Graham typed slowly, too slowly, like he wanted the moment to stretch. "Jordan," Graham repeated, eyes on the screen. "I'm not seeing you." Malik didn't react. "I'm a +1, under Nia Santos." Graham typed again, his lips pressed together as he searched. Then he leaned back slightly. "Not seeing that either." Malik blinked once. "It should be there. She told me she added me." Graham's tone cooled. "Well, it's not." Malik felt that familiar heat in his chest, the one that rose when someone treated a simple situation like a suspicion. He kept his voice even. "Could it be under the host's name? I can get it." Graham's eyes narrowed a fraction. "Sir, we require verified guest list entry for any non-resident." Malik nodded. "Okay, then let's verify it. The event is in your building. The host can confirm. Nia can confirm. I can call her." Graham didn't move. "You can call whoever you want, but you're not going upstairs without being on the list." The words weren't loud, but they were final. A couple walked behind Malik, white, dressed in semi-formal clothes, laughing softly. They didn't even slow down. Graham glanced at them and gave a polite nod. "Evening, Mr. and Mrs. Keller," Graham said, voice warmer. They smiled back and walked straight to the elevators, like the air opened for them automatically. Malik watched it happen and forced himself not to let the moment change his face. He turned back to Graham. "Can you refresh the list? Sometimes it takes a minute to sync." Graham's mouth tightened, as if Malik had suggested something unreasonable. "The list is current." Malik kept his tone calm. "Then why is it missing me?" Graham's eyes sharpened. "Because you're not on it." Malik held his gaze. "Or because it hasn't loaded. Technology fails all the time." Graham leaned forward slightly, lowering his voice like he was offering Malik a warning disguised as professionalism. "Sir," Graham said, "we've had issues with uninvited people trying to access private events." Malik went very still. Uninvited people. Trying. Access. He could feel the implication crawling across the marble between them. Malik kept his voice steady. "I'm invited." Graham's gaze flicked to Malik's jacket again, like he was checking for something that confirmed his own assumption. "Do you have a physical invitation?" Malik stared. "A physical invitation?" Graham shrugged. "Some guests do." Malik exhaled slowly through his nose, controlling the urge to laugh, not because it was funny, but because it was absurd. He held up his phone. "I have the message from Nia. She said I'm on the guest list." Graham's eyes barely touched the phone. "I don't accept phones as proof." Malik's jaw tightened. "You don't accept phones in 2026. Graham's expression hardened. "Sir, watch your tone." Malik's tone hadn't changed, but Graham needed it to be tone, needed it to be attitude, needed a reason to make Malik the problem. Malik felt the eyes of a security guard near the entrance. White, broad, standing with hands clasped like he was waiting for permission to step in. The guard wasn't moving yet, but his attention was fixed. Malik lowered his phone and forced his shoulders loose. He spoke calmly, each word measured. "I'm not trying to cause trouble. I'm trying to attend an event I was invited to. If the guest list hasn't synced, I'm asking you to refresh it or contact the host." Graham's voice went colder. "We don't call residents for every person who walks in claiming to be invited." Malik held his gaze. "But you'll call them for me." Graham's eyes narrowed. "Excuse me?" Malik didn't raise his voice. "If the list is wrong, the easiest way to confirm is to contact the host. That's your job." Graham's cheeks flushed slightly, offended at being told his job by someone he didn't want to respect. "Your job," Malik repeated softly, "is access control, not guessing." Graham stared at Malik for a long beat. Then he turned his screen slightly away, as if to end the conversation by closing the view. "I'm not letting you up," Graham said. The sentence landed heavy. Not, "I can't," not, "let's solve it." Just, "I'm not." Malik felt anger rise again, strong enough to push into his throat. He swallowed it down. He glanced toward the elevator bank. He could see them. Quiet doors, a small digital panel. Up and down, arrows glowing. Up there, people were laughing, holding drinks, celebrating. Nia was probably scanning the room right now, expecting Malik any minute. And down here, a man behind a desk had decided Malik didn't belong in the story of this building. Malik took out his phone again, not as a threat, not as a performance, as a tool. He called Nia. It rang twice. Then she picked up, voice bright and a little loud over music. "Malik, where are you?" Malik kept his voice calm. "In the lobby. Concierge says I'm not on the guest list." A beat of silence on her end, music still playing, but her voice tightened. "What?" Nia snapped. "No, you are. I literally added you." Malik glanced at Graham, who was watching him now with that controlled expression that said, "I told you so." "Can you come down?" Malik asked. "He won't let me up." Nia's voice sharpened. Stay right there. The line went quiet as she moved. Footsteps, muffled voices, the sound of a door opening. Malik ended the call and waited. Graham leaned back, folding his hands like he'd already won. Your friend can come down and escort you if she's a resident. Malik stared. She's not a resident. She's a guest, too. Graham's expression flickered, like that fact complicated his neat little narrative. Then she can't escort you. Malik felt the frustration spike. So how do guests get to events? Graham said, flat. They're on the list. Malik nodded slowly. So the list is the only truth. Graham's eyes narrowed. Yes. Malik's voice stayed calm. Then I need you to refresh it. Graham's jaw tightened. I already told you. Malik cut in gently. You told me it's current. I'm asking you to prove it's current. Refresh the sync. For a moment, Graham didn't respond. Then he did something small that told Malik everything. He tapped his mouse once, lazily, like he was humoring a child, then stopped. There, Graham said. Still not there. Malik's pulse thudded. That wasn't a refresh. That was theater. Before Malik could respond, the elevator doors opened. A woman stepped out, walking fast. White, late 20s, hair sleek, wearing a cream dress and heels that clicked sharply on the marble like punctuation. She looked directly at Malik. Malik, she called. Malik's stomach dropped, because it wasn't Naya. It was someone else. She reached the desk, breath quick. I'm the event coordinator, she said, flashing a lanyard. I'm here for the Skyline engagement party. Graham straightened slightly, suddenly more polite. Yes, ma'am. The coordinator turned to Malik. Nia said you're downstairs. She's upset. Malik kept his voice calm. I'm on the guest list. He says I'm not. The coordinator looked at Graham. The list has been glitching since 7:30. The building Wi-Fi keeps dropping in the service app. Graham blinked, like he didn't want that said out loud. The coordinator continued, firm. Refresh the guest list sync. Full refresh, not cached. Graham's jaw tightened. It's already... The coordinator cut him off. Graham. Just his name. One word, but it carried authority. Graham's fingers moved again, faster now. He clicked into a deeper menu, something he hadn't bothered to show Malik, and hit a button that looked like a real refresh. A spinning icon appeared on his screen. Malik watched it. A long 5 seconds. Then 10. The coordinator folded her arms, staring at Graham like she knew exactly how much effort he'd offered Malik earlier. The spinner stopped. Graham's eyes widened slightly. He stared at the screen, then typed again. Malik's name appeared. Clear. Unmistakable. Jordan Malik, guest, Naya Santos +1, approved. Graham went very still. Malik felt a cold, steady relief, but it came with a sting. Because the truth had always been there, just not worth loading until someone with the right kind of authority demanded it. The coordinator leaned in and pointed at the screen. There, print the wristband. Graham's face flushed. Yes, ma'am. He printed a small tag and slid it across the desk toward Malik without meeting his eyes. Malik took it calmly. The coordinator looked at Malik, voice softer now. I'm sorry. Come on, we'll take you up. Malik nodded once, but he looked at Graham before he walked away, not with anger in his face, with quiet, controlled truth. I was on the list the whole time, Malik said. Graham's jaw tightened. The system hadn't... Malik cut in gently. It loaded when you refreshed it. A beat of silence. Then Malik turned and followed the coordinator toward the elevator. Because getting upstairs wasn't the only point. The point was that he'd been denied entry until the guest list finally loaded. And Malik knew, deep in his bones, that the list hadn't been the only thing that needed loading. So had Graham's willingness to believe him. The elevator doors slid shut with a soft, expensive hush. Malik stood inside beside the coordinator. Her name tag read, Ella, Event Coordinator, while the numbers climbed in glowing silence. The air smelled faintly of citrus cleaner and somebody's expensive cologne. Ella pressed the button for the top floor again, as if she didn't trust the building to obey the first time. "You okay?" she asked quietly, eyes forward. Malik nodded once. "I'm fine." He wasn't fine. His chest still held that tight, sour pressure that came from being treated like a stranger in a place he was literally invited to. But he wasn't going to spill it in an elevator where cameras watched and people in suits later described his tone. He breathed slow instead. When the doors opened, the skyline room looked like another world. Warm lighting, a wall of windows showing the city like glittering jewelry, music low enough for conversation, tables dressed in white cloth, champagne flutes lined like glass soldiers. Nia spotted Malik immediately. She cut through the crowd with purpose, face tight with anger. Nia was Latina, late 20s, hair slicked back in a low ponytail, wearing a navy dress that made her look like she belonged in every room she entered. She reached Malik and grabbed his forearm, half hug, half confirmation that he was real. "You were down there this whole time," she hissed, voice shaking. Malik kept his voice calm. "Yeah." Nia's eyes flashed. "He told you you weren't on the list." "He did," Malik said evenly. Nia turned to Ella, furious. "Graham does this. He does." Ella's mouth tightened. "He said the list was current." Nia let out a hard laugh. "Of course he did." Malik didn't want a scene, but he also didn't want this to become one of those moments everyone smoothed over because it was awkward. He looked at Nia. "It's okay. I'm here now." Nia shook her head. "No, it's not okay." She looked like she wanted to march back downstairs herself and set the lobby on fire with words. "Let me talk to my cousin," Nia said, already moving. "Because this is his building staff. He can deal with this." Malik reached gently and caught her wrist, not gripping, just stopping her for 1 second. "Nia," he said quietly, "I don't want you to ruin your night." Nia stared at him, anger and guilt mixing in her eyes. "You didn't ruin it." Malik nodded. "I know." Ella cleared her throat. "I'll inform building management," she said. "We've been having sync issues, but the way he handled that—" She stopped herself, but Malik heard the rest anyway. He heard it in her pause. "The way he handled you." Malik nodded once. "Thank you." Ella walked away toward a staff-only door, heels clicking. Nia exhaled sharply and guided Malik toward the bar to get him a drink, as if a drink could wash off what happened downstairs. As they walked, Malik felt eyes on him, not hostile, not kind either. Curious, evaluating. A few people glanced at Nia as if she'd brought something unexpected. Malik held his posture steady. Nia poured him water first, smart, and leaned in. "Tell me exactly what he said." Malik kept his voice low. "He said I wasn't on the list. Said he doesn't accept phone proof. Said they've had issues with uninvited people." Nia's jaw clenched. "He said that to you?" Malik nodded. Nia looked away for a second, swallowing fury. "He didn't say that to the Kellers, did he?" Malik let a small, bitter exhale out. "No." Nia's face tightened. "I'm going to talk to my cousin, Malik. I have to." Malik didn't argue this time. Because he knew the balance. If he pushed back too much, he'd be sensitive. If she pushed back, she'd be dramatic. If nobody pushed back, it would happen again to the next person who looked like him. Nia squeezed his arm. "Stay here. I'll be right back." She walked away through the crowd like a blade. Malik stood at the bar with his glass of water, watching city lights beyond the windows, trying to slow his heartbeat down. A tall white man approached, early 30s, blazer, easy confidence, the kind of person who didn't get stopped at doors. "Hey," the man said with a smile. "I'm Chris, Nia's cousin." Malik straightened slightly. "Malik." Chris's smile faded into something more serious. "Nia told me what happened downstairs." Malik kept his voice calm. "I got in eventually." Chris's jaw tightened. That's not the point. He glanced toward the staff-only door where Ella had disappeared. Ella already texted me that the guest list sync had been lagging, but she also said Graham refused a full refresh until she ordered it. Malik nodded slowly. "That's accurate." Chris's face hardened. "And he threatened you with uninvited people language." Malik's voice stayed even. "He implied it." Chris exhaled sharply. "Okay." Chris pulled out his phone and typed quickly, thumb moving like he was used to being obeyed by systems and people. Then he looked at Malik. "I'm going to address it now with building management." Malik hesitated. "You don't have to." Chris cut him off gently but firmly. "I do." His eyes held Malik's in a way that didn't feel performative. It felt embarrassed, like he realized the building's professionalism had been used as a weapon in his own family's event. Chris walked toward the staff door. 10 minutes later, the mood in the room stayed the same. Music, laughter, glasses clinking. But something shifted beneath it. Staff whispered near the doorway. Ella returned with a serious-looking man in a suit and a tablet, building management energy. The man kept his face neutral, but tense, scanning the room like he wanted to resolve something without making it public. Nia reappeared beside Malik, breath quick. "Chris is going off," she whispered. "In a good way." Malik gave a small nod. "I didn't want—" Nia shook her head. "I know what you didn't want, but you shouldn't have to swallow that." Across the room, Chris spoke to the building manager. Malik couldn't hear every word, but he saw the gestures. Chris pointing down, lobby level, then tapping his phone, then spreading his hands like "explain this." The manager's jaw tightened. He nodded, typed something on his tablet, and walked briskly toward the elevator. Ella followed. Chris stayed behind, eyes still sharp. A few minutes later, Malik's phone buzzed with a text from an unknown number. "Building management. Mr. Jordan, we apologize for the inconvenience at entry. Your access is noted. You will not be delayed again. Astor Management." Malik stared at the message. It wasn't exactly an apology. It was the kind of corporate sentence designed to smooth without admitting. But it was something. Nia peeked at the screen. "Good." Malik didn't smile. "Yeah." Nia's eyes narrowed. "What?" Malik kept his voice quiet. "They only moved that fast because Chris got involved, because someone with the right kind of authority complained." Nia swallowed, the truth landing heavy. "I know." Malik looked out at the city again. "I was on the list. I had proof, and it still wasn't enough until the sync loaded and somebody important told him to do his job." Nia's voice cracked slightly. "I'm sorry." Malik turned to her, softer now. "Don't be sorry you invited me. Be sorry the world still does this." Nia nodded slowly, eyes wet. Chris came back over, face tight. "Management is going to review lobby procedures and retrain, and Graham is being documented." Malik nodded. "Thank you." Chris shook his head. "No, thank you for not leaving. My cousin's night shouldn't include you being treated like you're trying to sneak in." Malik's throat tightened, but he kept his voice steady. "I'm here." Chris held his gaze. "And you're welcome here." That sentence, simple, hit harder than Malik expected. Because welcome wasn't supposed to be something you had to earn with receipts and synchronized lists. But tonight, at least, it was said out loud. Nia nudged Malik's shoulder gently. "Come meet the couple," she said, "before you disappear into the window view." Malik let himself exhale. He followed her into the crowd, and even as the laughter and music wrapped around him again, Malik kept the text message from management saved. Another receipt, another proof, another shield. Because he already knew, doors didn't just open because you were invited. Sometimes they opened because the record finally loaded and forced someone to admit you belonged.